All right, let's dive in. We're tackling something today that I know a lot of you are interested in. Natural ways to boost testosterone.
Mm-hmm.
And specifically, we're going to be putting Testosil under the microscope.
Cool.
It's been, it's gotten some buzz, in the natural health world. So we wanted to kind of cut through the hype and really see what the deal is. We're going to be talking about the ingredients they use, what benefits they're claiming, what are users saying about it, all that good stuff. So you can decide if Testosil is something you might want to check out.
Right. Yeah. If it's worth it for you.
Now we know you're here to go deeper than just, testosterone 101.
Yeah.
So let's jump right in. What makes Testosil different from everything else out there?
Well, I think the interesting thing about Testosil is their approach. They're not just saying, like, here's the one ingredient that's going to solve all your problems.
Okay.
They actually have what they call like a holistic blend. They've got different ingredients that all sort of work together. And they're each chosen because supposedly they support healthy testosterone in different ways.
Interesting. So a multi-pronged approach.
Yeah.
But what are those ingredients, and is there any science to back this up?
So some of these you might have heard of, like they've got KSM-66 ashwagandha.
Whoa, hold on. Let's rewind.
Okay.
What in the world is ashwagandha?
Okay, so ashwagandha. It's actually got a really long history in traditional medicine.
Okay.
And, it's not like mystical or anything like that, but
Yeah.
basically it's what's called an adaptogen.
Okay, and what does that mean?
So adaptogens, they basically help your body deal with stress better.
Oh, okay.
And when it comes to testosterone, stress management, that's huge.
Yeah, no, I'm all about stress reduction, but what's the link between stress and testosterone?
So there's actually studies that show that if you're chronically stressed out, like all the time, that can actually lower how much testosterone your body's making.
Really?
Yeah, because when you're stressed, your body pumps out this hormone called cortisol.
Oh, yeah, the stress hormone.
Yeah, exactly. And if your cortisol's too high, it kind of messes with testosterone production.
So ashwagandha, it's calming things down, so testosterone has a chance to, I don't know, do its thing.
Yeah, you could kind of think of it like that.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one ingredient, but they said it was a blend. What else is in there?
Right, so they also have D-Aspartic acid and fenugreek.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, there's also zinc, vitamin D3, magnesium. It's a whole bunch of stuff.
Whoa, okay, so those last few I've definitely heard of, but, I think a lot of people probably listening are wondering the same thing. Like, what do those do?
Right, so these are all about making sure your body's got what it needs, to make testosterone work, right?
Okay.
So, like, take zinc, for example. Zinc is actually directly involved in, like, making and regulating testosterone.
Interesting.
Yeah, so you need enough zinc, or else things can get thrown out of whack.
Got it. So that's zinc. What about vitamin D and magnesium?
Okay, so vitamin D, a lot of people don't realize this, but vitamin D is crazy important for hormones, and that includes testosterone.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and, especially as guys get older, a lot of them are low on vitamin D, and that can mess with their T levels.
Oh, okay.
And then you've got magnesium, which that one's kind of a multitasker.
Okay.
It helps your muscles work, right? Which obviously if you're trying to, bulk up or whatever, that's important.
Yeah.
But then it also helps protect your body from some of the bad stuff that stress can do.
Interesting.
So it's like getting a twofer.
I like it. Okay, so it sounds like they're pulling out all the stops with this formula.
Yeah.
Hitting testosterone from all sides. But we need to know what this actually means, right? Like, what are they claiming this does?
Yeah, let's get into it. Let's see what Testosil is actually saying about what their product can do.
Exactly. Let's unpack those claims. So are people actually seeing results? Like, does Testosil actually live up to the hype?
Yeah. When you look at what users are saying, it's actually pretty interesting.
Okay.
One guy, I think he was in his late 50s, he was saying how, as he got older, he just didn't have the same energy. And his muscles weren't what they used to be.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
Right. So he was like a little iffy about it at first, but he decided to try Testosil. And after a few weeks, he was like, whoa, I actually feel a difference.
Okay, so more energy. That's huge.
Yeah. And not just like, bouncing off the walls energy, but like at the gym.
Yeah.
And he was even saying he felt more motivated at work, which he wasn't really expecting.
Oh, wow. So like ripple effects into other parts of his life?
Exactly. It wasn't just like, oh, I'm taking this thing for this one specific thing.
Right. Did he say anything about like actual muscle gains or like recovery after workouts?
He did. He said he wasn't like expecting to get totally ripped or anything.
Right.
But he was noticing like his muscles were starting to look a little more defined. And he felt like he was recovering faster from his workouts too.
Interesting.
And I think part of that was, like, because he had more energy, he was actually pushing himself harder at the gym.
Oh, that's a good point.
So it's like, it kind of snowballed, you know?
Yeah, I get it. But, I mean, obviously not every single person is going to have, like, a totally amazing experience, right? Were there any, like, not so great reviews?
Yeah, for sure. And it's important to look at those too. There was this one guy, I think he was in his early 40s, and he was saying he did feel a little more energetic, but he wasn't seeing the muscle growth or the the libido boost that he was hoping for.
Okay, so it's not like a miracle cure-all?
Right, exactly. You got to keep your expectations realistic.
For sure.
And he also said, it's interesting, he said that he felt like the effects kind of wore off a little bit after a few months.
Oh, really? So, like, maybe you build up a tolerance or...
Yeah, it makes you wonder, right? Like, what happens long term if you keep taking it?
Yeah, that's a good point. It's not something you usually think about.
And, it's got to be said, everybody's different.
Sure.
Like, what works for one person might not do anything for someone else. It all depends on, like, your age, your genetics, what you're eating, all that.
That makes sense.
Right. So it's not one size fits all, especially with hormones and stuff.
Definitely not.
So I think the takeaway there is, even if it's natural, like Testosil, you still got to be smart about it. Don't just assume it's going to be a miracle.
Yeah, don't get ahead of yourself.
Exactly.
Speaking of being smart, let's talk about the actual, like, practical side of Testosil.
Okay.
How much does it cost? Is it, like, way more expensive than other testosterone boosters?
So it's definitely not, like, the cheapest one out there.
Yeah, okay.
It's a little pricier than some of the others.
All right, so what are you getting for that extra money?
That's the big question, right?
Yeah.
The one thing that impressed me is they're really focused on using good quality ingredients.
Okay.
And not just, like, whatever's cheapest, but stuff that's actually been studied and shown to work.
So they're not cutting corners?
No, they're not.
Yeah.
And they use the right dosages, too.
Okay, so, like, the amount that's actually going to make a difference.
Exactly. Like, some companies will put in, like, a tiny amount of something just so they can put it on the label. But with Testosil, they're actually using doses that have been shown to be effective.
Oh, that's good to know.
And they're also really transparent about, like, where they get their ingredients from and how it's made.
That's huge. Transparency is so important, especially with supplements.
It really is.
Okay, but obviously we got to talk about safety here, right?
Yeah.
It's messing with hormones, even if it is natural. So are there side effects? What's the deal?
Yeah, you're absolutely right to ask that. So they market it as being safe for most adults, and most of the side effects people have reported have been pretty minor.
Okay.
Like, sometimes when you first start taking it, you might get a little bit of an upset stomach or a headache.
Yeah, that's pretty standard with supplements.
Right. But the thing is, everyone's body is different.
True.
So what's no big deal for one person might be a problem for someone else.
That's why it's so important to do your research.
Yes. And talk to your doctor. Like, seriously, don't just start taking something like this without checking with them first.
Especially if you've got, like, other health issues going on or you're on medication.
Exactly.
It's always better to be safe than sorry.
100%.
Okay, so big picture before we wrap things up. What's your overall take on Testosil? Good, bad, somewhere in between?
Honestly, I was impressed. They're not trying to just throw a Band-Aid on the problem. They're really trying to address it from multiple angles.
I like that. It's not just a quick fix.
Right. And they're using good quality ingredients, being transparent about everything. So yeah, while it's not going to be some miracle solution for every single person,
Right.
I think they're definitely doing something right over there.
So cautious thumbs up.
Yeah, cautious thumbs up. But as always, do your research, talk to your doctor. You know the drill.
Always. All right, folks, there you have it. We've covered the science, the claims, what users are saying, and more. Now it's up to you to decide if Testosil is right for you. Thinking about all this talk about Testosil and how it's all about working with your body, it kind of makes you think bigger picture, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Like, even before someone tries something like this, what are some things people can do to, like, set themselves up for success?
Or for sure. I mean, it's easy to get caught up in the hype of the latest supplement or whatever. But honestly, the foundation of, like, feeling your best, it comes down to the basics.
Yeah, the stuff we all know we should be doing.
Exactly. Like, are you sleeping enough? Managing your stress? Are you moving your body regularly? That kind of stuff.
Right, it's easy to forget about that stuff.
It is. But it makes a huge difference.
Huge. It's like you can't build a house on, like, a shaky foundation.
Exactly.
You need that solid base.
And you need the right materials, too. Like, what you're putting into your body matters. Making sure you're eating good, whole foods.
Right, fueling your body the right way.
Yeah, all that stuff comes before you even think about taking a supplement.
Exactly. Got to get the fundamentals down.
Yep, those are the things that'll really move the needle, not just for testosterone, but for your whole life, really.
Truth. And that's what we're all about here on the Deep Dive, right? Giving you the information, the knowledge, so you can make the best decisions for your health. We've gone deep on Testosil today, but at the end of the day, it's your call.
You're in the driver's seat.
Exactly. And hey, if you found this deep dive helpful, don't keep it to yourself. Tell your friends, share it around. Knowledge is power.
Absolutely.
And if you're hungry for more deep dives, make sure you're subscribed to the show. We've got tons of great episodes waiting, Fino. Until next time, stay curious and keep on diving deep.